Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, dear students. This is Miss Layla Al-Jihani. Inshallah, today we will continue the expansion units from 4 to 6. We have the last two lessons, Chant Along and the project. Okay, this is what we are covering today. Before we start, let's revise what we covered in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, we covered the writing. You were asked to write a brochure about an adventure in our country, صح? And I showed you an example of diving in Red Sea, okay? So it was your homework. You were supposed to do this as a homework and you have to present it to your class. You have to write it with your group and present it to your classmates. Inshallah, today, after you finish, vote for the best adventure. You think the best adventure, which one is it? Vote for it. Inshallah, today, by the end of the lesson, you will be able to read the chant. Okay, together we will have the reading and we will answer questions related to the reading. Also, we will cover the project. We will make a survey asking questions about long distance communication. Okay, this is what we are covering in our lesson today. Before we start also with the writing, I ask you to do page 132. Okay, exercise J here. Look at each photo. You have different photos. Write a short conversation. So you will have to write a conversation between these people. You have to use indirect questions and comparative and superlative forms of adjectives. And these are the adjectives you will use, okay, when you write this conversation. So you have to use superlative and comparative forms of adjectives, and also you have to use the indirect questions to form the conversation. Okay, let's see the answers. Kevin, do you know what the most popular sport in the world is? Pete, well, I think basketball is more popular than baseball. Andy, and basketball isn't as popular as football. Jason, so football is the most popular sport in the world. It's also the best. Okay, so here we use the superlative, and here we compared using as, and here we used the comparative, okay, form. Okay, here we have the indirect question. So I covered everything asked from me here in the question. Now let's see number 2. You have to also use indirect questions and superlative and comparative forms. You have the customer, waiter, customer and waiter, and you have also these words you have to use. Okay, now let's see the answers together. Could you tell me what fresh fish you have today? Waiter, the tuna is fresh, but the salmon is fresher. Okay, customer, okay, I'll have the salmon. Could you tell me what it comes with? Waiter, it comes with salad and rice or baked potato. I recommend the baked potato. It's much better than the rice. Okay, here we have the comparative form, and we have 2 indirect questions here. Now, the other exercise we have here, you have a table, and you have to think about 2 last vacation you did. 2 vacation you covered, okay? So how were your last 2 vacations? Complete the chart. So you have to complete the chart. You have to think about vacation 1, vacation 2. Where was it? Where did you, where is the place? How is the weather? What did you do there? The activity. What did you do there in your vacations? Okay? I filled out this chart. Vacation 1, Seattle. The weather was rainy. The activity, visited cousins and did some shopping. Okay? For vacation 2, Miami, sunny. I surfed and I swam. These are the activities I did when I went to Miami. This is an example. You can be creative. You can write anything you want, okay? And then we have to use the same chart we filled together. We have to use it to write, to change it to writing, okay? Now write a paragraph and compare your last 2 vacations. So you have to compare between the 2 vacations. Use information from your chart. This is the chart you will use from the previous exercise, okay? This is the writing. We changed the chart into writing. Last summer, I went to Seattle with my family, and the summer before, I went to Miami. Seattle is a busy city, but I didn't see much of it. I visited my cousins in one of the suburbs, and it rained every day. Then I went shopping with my family. Really, that was not a lot of fun. The summer before I went to Miami on vacation, that was a more exciting vacation. The weather was better because it was sunny. We went to the beach every day, and I surfed and swam. Okay, these are the activities. So this is our homework. We revised everything together. We did the exercises together. Inshallah, we will start our lesson, page 72, page and 73. We will start with Chant Along. If you look at the pictures, and you can see, you have 2 pictures on the pages. Who do you think the people are? Who are they? Are they friends? No. Who do you think? Are they related? Yes, they are a family. Excellent. They are a family. And when you see the title, I've missed you, what do you think the chant is about? It's about how one maybe person is away and he misses his family. He wants to be with his family, okay? This is the chant, and we will read it together. We will listen to it together. Now, I have this question: how people feel when they have not seen their family for a long time? If you didn't see your family for a long time, how do you think you would feel? Would you feel happy you didn't see your family? La, you will feel excellent, sad. You will feel sad, lonely. Yes, you will feel alone. You miss your family. You want to be with your family. Okay, these are the emotions we feel when we are away from our families. Okay, طيب, imagine that you are not around your family, okay, and you are studying in another country or in another city far away from your family. How would you communicate with your family? How would you talk to your family? How would you do it? Would you use which apps, which methods will you use? Will you use social media to contact? Will you use WhatsApp to contact, text them? Are you going to use video chatting? Or are you going to call them? I think it depends on where are you. Will you write emails to them? Will you send letters like long? I don't think anyone send letters anymore. We don't send it anymore. But this was the method to communicate previously. But would you do the same? Write letters, write an email? I think emails are used more now than the actual letter, and you have to send it via post office. People don't do these anymore. Emails are much easier to send messages. Now let's read the chant together, listen to it, and try to follow the reading, okay?
Hello, Mom. Hello, Dad. It's been a long, long time since I've made a call. It's been a long, long time since I've seen you all. You have always been in my heart.
Okay. If you notice here, I highlighted the verbs here. Which tense is it? We covered this tense before. Which tense is it? It's present perfect. It means the emotions still here. The emotions, these emotions he's expressing started in the past, but he still feels the same feeling now. That's why they used the present perfect here. Now let's see the second one.
Listen, son. We've thought about you all this time. You've been constantly on our mind. We've been so far, far apart.
Okay. The third paragraph.
Been so busy. Had exams. Have I missed you? Yes, I have. Have I studied? Yes, night and day. I have worked hard to make you proud. I can't wait to come home.
So the chant, when you listen to it, it's basically 3 paragraphs. One paragraph, the son sent it to his family, and then the family responded to his message, and then he sent another one explaining his situation, telling them about the exams, that he's busy and he can't come, okay? Now, we have this last one. He continued to express his feelings to his family. Let's see it. 4th paragraph.
Little brother, is that you? You have grown an inch or 2. Little sister, how are you? I have wondered what is new. I've missed you all so terribly. Have you thought about how much you mean to me?
Okay. Now for the vocabulary, okay, look at the words and look at the meanings. When you think about the meaning, you have to read the chant alone and see the word within the text to see the actual meaning, okay? So for the first word here, what do the following words mean in the chant? We have constantly, something constant. What does this word mean? Is it forever, or all the time, or occasionally? When you say something is constant, excellent, it's all the time. This is what does constant mean, all the time. Okay, the word proud here. What does proud mean? Pleased, that means you are proud and pleased, or disappointed, or worried. What does proud mean? If your parents, if you had an A in your exam, your parents will be proud of you, right? They will be pleased. Okay, this what does proud mean? Wonder, when you wonder and thinking, okay? Be amazed. When you wonder, you are amazed, or dream, or ask oneself. When you wonder about something and you're thinking about something, do you ask yourself a question, or are you in a dream, dreaming, or are you amazed, excited? It's ask oneself. Excellent. The last word we have terribly, okay? Not well, very much, just a little, not very much. So when you say, if you did something wrong, for example, okay, and you broke something in your house, and you go to your mother and you say, I'm terribly sorry, that means you are not very much, or not well, or very much. Yes, you are very much sorry. صح? This what does terribly sorry mean? Terribly means very much. Okay, this is the part related to the vocabulary. We have the other part here. Explain the meaning of the following sentences in your own words. Okay, we have these phrases 1 and 2, and you can see it in the chant above. You have always been in my heart. When someone says to you, you have always been in my heart, what do they mean? What does this expression mean? What do you think it means? Think about it and try to write the meaning of it here. You've been constantly in our mind. When you have, are you physically in their mind? When someone says this phrase, what does it mean? He is or she is what? Thinking, excellent, thinking about you all the time. So read the statements and write down what do you think it means. Let's see the answers together. Here, when you say you have always been in my heart, you are very dear to me, and I love you. When you want to express that you love someone and you like this person, he is precious to you, you use this expression, okay? Number 2, you've been constantly in our mind. That's mean we think about you all the time. That's mean you are always, we are thinking about you, we are worried about you all the time. What does this phrase mean, okay? Now for the comprehension questions related to the chant, you have look at the questions, read it, and read the chant to see the correct answer. Here you have to write true or false. The student hasn't seen his family for a long time. Is this true? Does he see his family all the time or la? So should we write true or false? True. We should write true. The student hasn't seen his family for a long time. From the chant, this is true. Number 2, he is in a distant place. He is not with them. He's in a distant place. Is this true? Yes, it is. Number 3, he hasn't studied very hard. Did he say that in the chant? If you can see, I think paragraph 4, he mentioned something about his exams and his study. Did he say he hasn't studied very hard? No, he didn't. So we should write false, okay? The parents want to know if their son has missed them. Is this mentioned? Yes, it is. 5, the student doesn't want to come home. Did he say, I don't want to come home? La, he didn't. He said, I want to come, but he has exams, right? So these are the answers. True, the first statement. The second one, true. Third one, false. Fourth one is true. The last one is false, okay? Now for the writing, imagine that you are a student, okay? And you are like the chant. You are living in a distant place. You are living in a far away from your family, okay? Write an email. You have to write an email to your family. Do something similar to the chant, but it doesn't have to rhyme the same. It's okay, write an email. We will do it together, inshallah. Say what you have been doing. Tell them what are you doing, why you miss them, and so on. You give them reasons. You talk to them. Tell them what happened with your studies, what happened with your exams, okay? So this is, we will do the writing together, inshallah, okay? So we will start here with the writing. We will do it one by one. When you write an email, how would you write an email? You start with what? In the beginning. When you write an email, you say, dear friend or dear mom. So we start with the signature. We call this part the signature, okay? Sorry. We call it the signature. So we say, dear what? You send in this message to whom? Sister, mother, father, friend. So you say, dear, for example, mom, and you write a comma. This is how we write an email, okay? Then you start here in the other lines. We call this the body. So this first part, dear mom, this first part, we call it the signature, the message you're sending it to whom, okay? The greeting, okay? You are greeting your mother, not a signature, sorry. And then you start the actual email. You tell her, for example, you asking her about your family, you're asking her about why, telling her why you miss them. You tell her that you miss her, okay? So you say, I hope, for example, I hope everyone or all my family, everyone is well, for example, okay? And then you write a comma. I, for example, do you notice when we start the sentence, we start with the capital, okay? And if we are pausing, we use the comma here. And then you continue. I really miss you. Sorry. All. Okay? I really miss you all. And then you put a full stop. So we start with the capital, we end the statement with the full stop. Okay? You can say, I wish. They said you have to mention in the question, they said you have to tell your family why you miss them. You can say, and telling them about your grades, telling them what's up with you, صح? So you can say, I wish I can spend the next holiday okay, at home. Unfortunately, you can't. So you say, I wish I can spend it. And you can say, unfortunately, I have exams, for example. Okay? And you put a full stop. You can write more than this, but I will keep it short. You can say to close the meeting, to end your email by saying looking. You can write more sentences. To looking forward, sorry. To hearing from you. With love, this is the signature. This is to close the email. With love, you can say your name or anything. Okay? You sign it. So this is how we write an email. We start with dear friend, dear family. Then we write the body of the email. The body consists with all the information, but at the end, if you notice the last one here, looking forward to hearing from you, this is just to tell them I'm finished, and then we end with the signature. This is how we write an email, okay? You should do the same, and this should be your homework, okay? Now let's move on to the discussion. Have you ever called a friend or family member that you hadn't seen from a long time? This is a question to all of you. Have you ever talked to someone you haven't seen from a long time? What do you usually talk about? This is a speaking exercise. So our our lesson today is about a long distance, and distance living away from your family. So do you this happened to you before? Yes. Your sister was far, your brother was far away, and you talked to them. Which method did you use? Did you use video chat? Did you call them? Ask each other these questions, okay? What was his and her reaction? So when you first talked, if your family is far away from you, when you first talked to them, what did they do? Were they happy to hear your voice or see you? Were they felt lonely? Did they cry? Did they laugh? Okay? Talked about their reaction. What did you talk about? What are the things? Did you catch up with your family? Did you talk to them and tell them what happened with your studies? Did you tell them what happened in the exams? Did you ask them about their friends and family around them, their classes? Okay? Imagine you have to go far away to study. What would you miss the most? Now imagine that you are the one who's leaving your family. What do you think you will miss the most? The thing you will miss. You will miss what? Your family. You will miss your room, okay? You will miss your mother's cooking, for example. So try to explain the things you will miss when you are living far away from your family, okay? Now for the project, you have to do a survey in your class to find out who communicates long distance. So you have to go around with your class and ask them about their long distance communication. Ask them about if they have someone far away, living far away from them, okay? And you have to do a survey. You remember we did a project before about surveys, okay? You have to write the same. You have to write questions, okay? And then you have to leave a box for the answers, okay? So you can ask your friend, do you have someone in your family? Do you do long distance communication? Yes or no? They say yes, write yes. They say no, write no, okay? And then find out what methods of long distance communication are they most popular. So you ask them, how would you communicate? Video chat, texting, calling, how would you communicate with the long distance? Okay? So if you go around, this is an example. If I tell you this information, you can fill out your chart. I can tell you I make 5 or 6 long distance calls a week. This is how the number of calls I make every week, okay? Usually to my parents and sometimes to my brother and sister. That's because none of my family lives near me. When I call people abroad, I usually use my computer and a webcam to talk to them. So he used or she used video cams. Sometimes I talk to friends for more than an hour. Okay, and he or she spent a long time, an hour. So from that, what do you gather? How many times do I call? So the number of times, صح? I have prepared these questions to help you when you are writing your survey, okay? These questions, how often do you make long distance calls? How often? I told you before 5 to 6 times, صح? Listen to your friends. What would they respond? How many times, okay? Do you use your cell phone, a landline, or do you call through your computer? So which method are we using? They will tell you FaceTime, they will tell you I call, I video chat, I text, I email. Which method is the most popular? You have to do a survey, صح? Who do you call the most? Which person do you call the most? And how long do you usually talk? An hour, 2 hours? How often do you speak to the person? How often? Is it every day, every week? What's the most you've ever spent on a long distance calls? They're talking about the budget, the money, okay? So what did we cover? We read the chant and we answered questions related to the chant, and also the project. You have to do a survey, which will be also your homework. A survey asking your questions about long distance communication. That's it for today. Thank you for listening, and inshallah I will see you next class.